You might have. All right, we back. What you on? Your computer or you on the phone?
I'm just on the phone. I just turned the computer off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start off, Riley. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in here probably know who you are. But what we got right here, let's go ahead and just give me a little background. Give me a little bit of your background as far as your childhood, like where you from, when you first got into sports, and who influenced you.
Okay. Riley Inge from Montgomery County, from Silver Spring, from the Briggs Cheney area. Went to Paint Branch High School. I was playing basketball, honestly, like as long as I can remember. Like I came from New York and moved to District Heights. I was probably getting ready to turn 7, and I had already been playing up in New York. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I probably was playing as early as 5 or 6.
Right.
You know? And even then, I was playing up. So, like, like one of my earliest memories is, you know, being in New York, and there was a team being put together at the YMCA, and I was too young to play. You know, it was like it might have been for like 8 or 9-year-olds or 10-year-olds or whatever. I was like 5 or 6, you know, not really sure. But I remember my dad, like, you know, telling the coach, you know, trust me, you know, my son can hold his own out here, you know, give him a chance. And so, so that was like really my first basketball team experience. But like I said, from the very beginning, I was playing up. I was always playing with older people.
Right. What part of New York was it?
Yeah.
What part of New York?
There, at that time, I was in Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then then you moved to District Heights. So who you played for when you moved to District Heights? You played football and basketball, right?
Right. So I played at Peppermill Boys and Girls Club.
I remember them. They used to smack us when I was playing that week.
Yeah, right.
They used to always pick us for their homecoming.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Slim. I was talking to Gus earlier. Earlier tonight.
Right.
I was telling Gus, like, you know, when I was a kid and I was, you know, out there, you know, one of the things that they told us about Montgomery County was, like, you know, it's going to be sweet when we go up there. Like, everybody up there got houses. You know, they not living like y'all. You know, they not hungry like y'all. You know, we going to get out the bus and we just going to run through all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, like, I remember, like, you know, going from District Heights, going from Peppermill to come up here and play Wheaton or Silver Spring Boys and Girls Club, and that's just kind of what we thought. We just thought that it was going to be an easy game. You know, it wasn't going to be not too much to it. But, you know, I was telling Gus that when I moved from New Jersey to Briggs Cheney. And, you know, when I was on the phone with my mom, because I was living with my dad up in New Jersey.
Right.
You know, when I was on the phone with my mom, and I'm talking to my mom, and I'm like, so where you live at now? And she's like, you know, Briggs Cheney.
Montgomery County.
I'm like, well, where is that? And she's like, Montgomery County. And I'm like, oh.
Now you about to be with the soft nigga.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But then, like I said, like once I got to Briggs Cheney, I realized quick, like, you know, this is where I came from.
That's what I be trying to tell people. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell people. I tell people because when I moved from Syracuse, New York, I moved to Summer Hills. That ain't nothing but a block from Northwest. You know what I'm saying? And that's like it was one way in, one way out. Wasn't no white people in that neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying? But the stereotype DC and PG gave us was them niggas on that. Once you cross that Montgomery County, once you cross Northwest or whatever and head into Montgomery County, oh, it's real sweet. Niggas ain't out there selling drugs. Niggas ain't out there pimping. Niggas ain't out there doing this.
Right.
Niggas ain't out there doing it. Them niggas is soft as hell. But they don't realize, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to think, I'm coming from Syracuse and coming to Summit Hills. And now, I wasn't from that area in Syracuse, but when I moved to Summit Hills, it was like a wake-up call for me. So I'm not looking like I'm moving to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of apartment buildings. You know what I'm saying? And in front of these two apartment buildings, you got the Haitians and Jamaicans. Right? When you go down about two buildings, now you got the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans.
You got all the Mexicans out there. Yeah,
like we was, man, it was drug infested, Roach Motel. I mean, it was everything that you can see in the city. You feel what I'm saying?
And you wouldn't think that. You know, it's funny because, like, you know, my perception of Montgomery County back then was that everybody had, you know, mom and dad in the house, you know, had a big backyard, you know, had a fence, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just my perception of what Montgomery County was like. But, you know, Dave Chappelle had done a stand-up not too long ago, and he was talking about what it was like living in Silver Spring. You saw that?
Right. Being the brokest person in your neighborhood.
Hey, yo, he said that he said my mom made just enough money for me to live poor around white people. Right. That was it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have it good at all. Like, when Vaughn Jones came over to my house, you know, Vaughn from Southeast, you know what I'm saying? So when Vaughn came over, you know, Vaughn like, shit, I thought you lived in Montgomery County. I'm like, nigga, this is Montgomery County.
Right. Same shit going on in this area that's going on in your area.
Yeah.
You know, but that's funny, man. We get that stereotype, man, and I actually want to talk about the stereotype later as we talk about how you evolved as a player, because that's when we really tested out. Because being over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a lot of people from the city was coming to Summit Hills because it was like a hot spot. You know what I'm saying? People come get their drugs, sell their drugs, do whatever they want. So it was like a hot spot. Yeah. So it was a lot of people from the city that maybe moved from the city and moved to Summit Hills. So yeah, they in Montgomery County, but they ain't in 90210 Montgomery County. You know what I'm saying? You still,
they're not in Rockville, they're not in Bethesda, you know, they're not in Potomac, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, I mean, like, people from the city or from PG County, you know, saw like Silver Spring is kind of like a little bit better than where they came from. So you got an influx of people coming that way. So yeah, you're right.
And with the gentrification, you feel what I'm saying? Like, look at it. I hear down in Southeast, now they got some white neighborhoods now. But you look at 10 years ago, they ain't had that. That was straight projects. So it's kind of like, I think they built Montgomery County up before they started really doing DC and PG. Because PG is where you get them big houses for the low. You feel what I'm saying? Like where the Redskins and all them living. So you talking about Montgomery County, we got some white people that's living good, but the black people ain't living like that in Montgomery County. Right. You know what I mean? But you got black people in PG County living like they doing it big. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff,
you know, again, like, you know, if you're looking at it like it is today, that's one thing. But if you're going back in time to, like, you know, when we landed in Montgomery County, I got here in 86. You know what I'm saying? And so, for example, like, you know, Anton, you know what I'm saying? Like, though there were some people that I was around that had a better lifestyle, had more structure, had, you know,
had both parents in the house.
Had both parents in the house, you know, food in the ice box, you know what I'm saying? All the lights work, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Had a backyard, you know what I mean? Like they had certain things, man. So, but even like Tamarack right now, like Tamarack don't look the way it looked 30 years ago.
Facts.
You know?
Nah, I mean that's a fact. But I mean,
Rodney on this?
Rodney and he said he gonna be late, so Rodney ain't get out here yet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's all cool. So we just gonna chop it up. And
okay.
So all right. So like you said, so when you moved to Briggs Chaney, so you went to Banneker and all of that, right?
Right.
Okay, so you still played AAU, and was you still playing football, or what you was doing?
No.
Like, what you mean no? No basketball, no football, no nothing. You just a suburban
Everything stopped. When I came to Montgomery County, everything stopped because in the Briggs Cheney area, there was no boys and girls club. There was no rec. There was no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you wanted to play something, you kind of had to go out to Wheaton or go out to Silver Spring. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my mom was working 3 jobs, so my mom wasn't about to, you know, be running me around, you know, trying to find me something to do. So I ended up just kind of being stuck in my neighborhood and just hooping against older people in my neighborhood. I never even heard of AAU until me and Antar, we was in Banneker together, and Antar was telling me, like, he was getting ready to go play on a team that was, you know, he said AAU, and I was like, well, you know, what is that?
33.
So he was like, like the Junior Olympics. And I'm like, wait a second, if you playing, then why ain't I playing? You know what I'm saying? But, like, I didn't know anything about it. Like, Antar had already been in that system for a while. You know what I mean? So, like, he knew how to navigate all of that. My mom was working 3 jobs. My mom wasn't even paying attention to, you know, what could she, you know, put me into to keep me moving around. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there was guys around me that was playing AAU basketball and going to camp and stuff like that, and I wasn't doing any of that. I was just in my neighborhood hooping. That was it.
So, and then you just started, so your first chance you was really playing on a team again was with Banneker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
so,
what
like,
I'm saying.
In the 7th grade, so when I got in the 7th grade is when I got to Banneker, and you know, I was really upset that I had left New Jersey, my father's house, to come back to Maryland. You know what I'm saying? I was upset about that. And so while I was at Banneker, like, I really tried to, I ended up sabotaging myself. I tried to get in trouble
to get sent back.
Will get pissed off and send me back. You know what I'm saying? So I came to Banneker. I did no schoolwork. You know what I'm saying? I did everything that I could do to get sent back. And my mom did. You did 33 just said? When it came.
33 talking about some Inge was garbage.
But when basketball season came, I wanted to hoop. And that was the first time that I, like, you know, heard anything about a grade point average. Like, you know, you can't play if you don't have a 2.0. And I damn sure ain't had no 2.0 because I was trying to get sent back to Jersey. So I ended up missing that whole basketball season. And so that really pissed me off because I figured out that, you know, if my mom ain't going to send me back to Jersey, I might as well be hooping. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what, like, you know, sparked me to be like, okay, well, let me get my grades so that I can make sure I'm playing basketball.
So you ain't get your chance till basically 8th grade.
8th grade,
And then you went on a paint brand. So when did you, so before high school, so did you get back? Did you get back into AAU eventually? Like you said, no, you didn't get back. So now we're back. Now we're into your freshman year in high school.
And we're at Banneker. Go ahead. You gonna ask me something?
Nope. Go ahead.
So we're at Banneker. I'm in the 8th grade. I play on the 7th, 8th grade team. Me and Antar was the backcourt. I had a great season. You know, I led the, you know, whole thing in scoring or whatever. I was playing the 2 and Antar was playing the point. And so now we going into high school now. So, you know, I didn't, you know, a lot of people was kind of like, I remember being in Banneker and certain people started talking about having a choice of what school they was going to go to. Some people said they was going to go to Springbrook. Some people said they was going to go to Paint Branch. You know, I had heard that Springbrook had a better basketball program than Paint Branch. So, you know, I was kind of intrigued a little bit by Springbrook, but, you know, Paint Branch was across the street. My mother wasn't going for that. My mother was going to send me to the school across the damn street.
Right.
You know,
she didn't give a damn about that basketball aspirations.
Nah, it didn't matter to her at all.
That nigga said you backed
across the day.
33 said you backed up David Lee.
33 lying. Don't listen to him, man. He drunk.
Hey, so go ahead. So now you sitting there. So you already know, even though you thought about Springbrook Paint Branch, because you're looking at the basketball side of it, but you realizing,
you know what? Yeah, my mom ain't having it. The first high school basketball game I ever saw was Springbrook versus Paint Branch. The game was at Paint Branch. I was in the 8th grade, and me and my best friend, Julio, we snuck into Paint Branch to watch the game. Now, we literally snuck in somehow. I don't know how we got into the building, but we snuck in behind the bleachers. And so we watched the entire game, Glenn, from underneath the bleachers. Straight up. Because we thought if we came out, somebody was going crazy.
They got to know y'all snuck in. They got to know y'all snuck in. That's what y'all.
So we watched the whole damn game through the bleachers. And so you got to imagine, like, you know, Sean Clifton was on the floor. I don't know if you know who Sean Clifton is?
I heard of the name. I heard of him. You know Barry. You know I know Barry. Right. So Barry talk about everybody that was legend. Okay.
So Sean Clifton was on the floor. Sean Clifton played for Springbrook.
Right.
And that Springbrook team that I watched that day later on won the state championship. They ended up beating Walt Williams and Crossland in there for the state championship later that year. All right.
Was Kevin McClinton on that team or what?
Kevin McClinton, yeah. Kevin was a junior. Sean Clifton was a senior. Daryl Ason was a senior. Like, they were loaded.
Right.
Right? And Paint Branch was good, too. In fact, Paint Branch ended up playing in Coalfield House later that year.
That same year?
They lost in the state semifinal. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can imagine. So that was like a really good game. That was two really good county teams playing against each other. And everybody looked big, Glenn. Like, everybody looked like they was 6'8" or 6'9". Like, Sean Clifton was, like, taking off. And, like I said, because I'm watching the game from underneath the bleachers, I can't see everything in its totality. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I could hear the crash when he, like, dunked the ball. I could hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because Paint Branch's gym kind of echoed. You know what I mean?
Right.
The old gym. The old Paint Branch gym had an echo to it. So it sounded like, Daryl Dawkins or somebody, like, ripping the rim down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Paint Branch had Charles Chase. They had Spider Briggs. You know, both 6'7" or taller. Had both of them on the floor. And you had my OG from my neighborhood, Cedric Robinson. He was a bucket getter. He was a flat-out bucket getter. And so I watched that game from underneath the bleachers. And then the following year, I come into Paint Branch, you know, and my class is the first 9th grade class ever, you know, in Paint Branch. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, Banneker was a junior high school.
Right.
You know, but Paint Branch was just opening up to 9th graders. So my class was the first 9th grade class to come into Paint Branch.
Okay.
So, you know, I had the option of playing freshman basketball, JV basketball, you know, and that was really what I was thinking I was going to do. Most of my friends were a year older than me. So, like, all my neighborhood friends were in the 10th grade when I was in the 9th grade.
Okay.
So I thought, you know, I could play with them. That would be fun to play with guys from my neighborhood, you know, play JV basketball. That'd be fun. You know, that'd be fun. You know,
right.
Or I could play freshman basketball where I knew I was going to dominate. I was going to score 40 points every night.
Right.
You know, so how much fun is that going to be? I wasn't really sure. But, you know, we ended up having an open gym. You know, Paint Branch had an open gym, like, you know, a few weeks before the season got started, and everybody was just in there playing pickup.
Right.
And so I came into the gym, and Cedric Robinson, like I said, my OG from my neighborhood, he was in the 12th grade. I went down to play with my other friends, you know, guys that was in my grade, 9th and 10th grade, where the old heads were on the, you know, on the other court. But Cedric called me over like, nah, come play with us, Riley. So
right.
okay, that's my OG or whatever. I'll go play with him. It's all good. I didn't know that Hank Galata, who was the varsity coach, was basically standing on that court and watching that court because that's who he was that's who he was getting ready to coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was watching that court. I didn't know that. So I hooped, played with them, played great. I kind of dominated the game. Ball handling, I was quick. I could score on everybody. It was kind of easy.
Right.
And so Galata, after the open gym, Galata pulled me to the side, asked me what's my name, what grade what grade I'm in, blah, blah, blah. And he asked me, whether I'm going to try out for the basketball team. And I told him, I said, yeah, I'm going to try out for the JV, I think. And he's the one that said, nah, I want you to come play on the varsity.
Blacktop. Okay. So that, that's blacktop just came in. So okay, so now you're a freshman and you ended up playing varsity.
Yeah, so when Galata asked me to play varsity, I said okay. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to tell him no. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right.
He wasn't somebody that you told no to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just trusted him that he was going to figure out the best way to use me. You know what I'm saying? And so there were seniors ahead of me on the team.
Right.
And I figured like I was gonna have to pay my way, whatever the case may be. Maybe back somebody up, maybe not even play, maybe just practice every day. And, I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do what the coach says. But, as we started scrimmaging against other schools, I started noticing that the guys that coach had playing in front of me was having more difficulty than I was.
Right.
When he put me in the game, you know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of rolling,
right.
And he'd take me off the floor, put one of the seniors back one of the seniors back in the game, and the game would slow up and, we just didn't play as well.
Right.
I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought, okay, well, cool. I know now that he's got an idea of how to play me. He's going to give me some minutes and, I'll be able to showcase, what I do in that time. I never knew that he was going to eventually start me. You know what I'm saying?
Your freshman year.
He ended up starting my freshman year. He started me like after the second or third scrimmage. I started, the rest of my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
that
4 years.
God, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
Stuff was moving so fast. It was moving so fast. Like you said, you just been playing pickup for the last 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? Now you enter high school, and now you playing varsity. Let me ask you a question, because Barry took us both under his wing. You know what I'm saying? As young boys. How old was you when Barry you got in touch with Barry, or y'all started kicking it?
I was 18.
So they stayed around this thing.
Yeah, well, I met Barry, like maybe like a few days after I played the state championship game. You know what I'm saying? So like literally my high school basketball career was over when I met him.
Okay, so I didn't even know that history. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was kind of like me, because I knew Barry ever since I was a freshman, because of course I went to the high school he went to, and I played at the park that he was playing at, so he knew of me a lot sooner. But that kind of makes a little bit more sense, so that when me and him first started kicking it was probably around the same time y'all first started kicking it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he used to take me with him, and I used to go to your house, all of that type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So all right, so now during this high school, like you said, you playing 4 years varsity. I know the history because I played in the county, that you was the best, if not one of the best in the county throughout your high school career.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that. So what about college letters and all that type of stuff? When did they start rolling in? You're a 4-year varsity starter, basically.
Yeah, so I got my first letter. My first letter came from Maryland, and my first letter came after my 9th grade year. So I hadn't like you couldn't get any mail as a ninth grader. I don't know if the rules are still the same, but you had to be considered a 10th grader to start, getting mail. So like as soon as my ninth grade season ended, maybe like that spring leading up to summer league, I got my first piece of mail, and it came from Maryland.
All right. So throughout high school, I'm quite sure. So you didn't play no more AAU ball. You just played straight at Paint Branch, or you was playing outside. So you didn't play outside of Montgomery County until when?
Well, when you say outside of Montgomery County, do you mean like in parks or rec centers, or do you mean like under the whistle, like official? Like, what do you mean?
Both of them, because like I said, we had that barrier coming from Montgomery County, and Bill talked about it last night.
So like for me, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was living in Briggs Chaney and not playing AAU or anything like that, like for example, like my summers were like spent in Philly, in Jersey, in New York. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of, again, like I was playing all the time against bigger, faster, growner, people than myself.
Right.
So whenever I would come back home from the summertime, all my friends would be like, damn, you got better. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody would like really notice how my game was evolving. You know what I'm saying? Because I had been gone for 2 or 3 months at a time, up in Philly, I mean, we was playing like in the streets on milk cartons and, stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Playing with, my older cousins or uncles and stuff like that. They would take me with them, you know what I'm saying, to a different park, So my summers were like that. I would be playing from park to park, up in Philly and Jersey, in New York. And then, like, even when I would come home, like I had family in the city, so like, if we went into the city, like, somebody would take me to, this park or that park. So I was always kind of, moving around.
Right. Okay. Plus you was cool with Von Jones from early age, so y'all probably kept in contact and stuff like that, right?
Well, again, I mean, like, because I met Vaughn through AAU. And I didn't play AAU until I played 17U. Okay.
All right.
So 17U is essentially the end of AAU.
Right.
For most people, that's the end, and that's when I came in.
All right, so take me back to like that senior year. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're a basketball player, you're getting all of this, attention. And I remember in high school, you damn near was averaging a quadruple double, probably like 7 steals, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, and 20 points or something like that. That's somewhere around there is what your numbers was. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somewhere.
Right.
So, like I said, so now you're getting this attention. Now you have to have plans on going to college. So when did you start to think about what's next?
So, Glenn, like there was so much mail coming in for me at that time between my 10th grade year and my 12th grade year. Paint Branch in the main office, they created a mailbox for me for my incoming mail. Seriously, they created like a little shelf, because there was so much mail that was coming into Galata that Galata couldn't hold it in his mailbox. So they had another little mailbox that was for like my mail, and everything was going in there. So there was just a tremendous amount of mail coming in. It was my 11th grade year when Cliff Warren came to Paint Branch, and he coached me my junior year. And Cliff had just he had just graduated from Mount St. Mary, so he had just played college basketball.
Right.
And so Cliff came, and Cliff went through my letters. I mean, I had boxes and boxes of mail. Some open, some unopened. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was so much coming in that I couldn't even keep up with all of it,
Right.
So Cliff came over my house one day and starts going through my mail, and he's opening up shit from like, Clemson or, University of Miami or, like I said, I couldn't keep up with it. All of it that was coming through, I couldn't keep tabs on it. So, he was opening up shit, and he's like, Riley, like, do you understand what this letter means? Like, they're offering you a scholarship, and you're not even opening this shit. You're not even returning phone calls. You're not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, he starts to, like, bring awareness to what I'm doing. I'm just going through the flow, Glenn. I'm just waking up in the morning. I'm going to school. I'm hooping. And I hope I can eat when I get home tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my mindset. I'm not even thinking about college in 3 years from now or anything like that. You know, it's kind of embarrassed to say that, but truthfully, that was my mentality at that time. And so, you know, Cliff was able to make me understand that, you know, this is money right here. You know, this is an opportunity to change your life, you know, through all these letters that you have boxed up.
Right.
So that was my awakening. That's when I started to try to understand what he was saying to me. But academically, I had dug myself such a hole, you know what I'm saying? Because really, what I had done was I made myself just eligible to play basketball, you know, which meant, you know what I'm saying, if I needed a 2.0 to play basketball, you know, when the grades came out, Riley had a 2.0. That was,
but you know what?
Not a
I take that back because, like, my first 2 years, which was 91, 92, so they had a rule where as long as you didn't get 2 E's, that was the eligibility thing. As long as you didn't fail 2 classes, you were eligible to play. So you could get 4 D's, an A, 1 E, and a B or whatever, and you eligible. But that's not a 2.0. Right. You know what I mean? And I had that same situation my 9th grade and 10th grade year, because just like you, I didn't have no father figure to be on me on my grades. And my mom, she would be like, "Did you do your homework?" Of course, yeah, I did my homework. And as long as I was eligible, she never tripped that I had fucked up grades. She thinking, okay, he's playing football, he's playing basketball, he gotta have the grades because they ain't gonna let him play if he's not
doing okay.
Right, he must be doing okay.
Ain't nobody calling me from the school saying that Riley's fucking up. Nobody's saying nothing.
Right. So just like you know what I'm saying? And a lot of my I didn't really have in my everyday life, it was street dudes that I was learning from. It was the street dudes outside that I was learning from because it was just me, my mother, and my sister in the house. So I wasn't getting advice. My mother was working full-time jobs, so I wasn't getting advice at home. I was outside with them, and they was trying to keep me straight, like, hey, don't do no illegal stuff. But they wasn't saying, hey, man, you do your homework, make sure you get your grades. They was just like, hey, man, do your thing on the basketball court, man, try to get up out of here. Thanks. It might have been a 1.8 GPA to be eligible. Yeah, that's what Coach Bolton said. It might have been like a 1.8 GPA just to be eligible. So you got to think, just like you, I had that same type of situation. Long as I was eligible and I was playing, I was cool. I thought as long as you could hoop, you was going to get a scholarship. And it wasn't until my 11th grade year, when the coach from George Mason came to talk to me and asked me how my grades was, I told him I had like a 2.0, and he was like, well, you need to pick your GPA up, because if your GPA is not high, you're going to need a high score on the SAT. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where it was. So go ahead and finish your story about that. So, but that's what I'm saying. So as far as the grades and all of that, you didn't even think that far as grades. But when did you realize that you wanted to play college ball? Or you wanted to make the NBA? What kind of dream did you, where did you want basketball to take you through in high school? When did you realize?
So, you know, it's funny because, you know, when I was a kid and I was watching college basketball to me looked like NBA basketball because they were both on TV. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm watching Len Bias on TV on Saturday and I'm watching Dr. J, you know, on Sunday, both of them on TV. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't clicking to me that those guys that I'm watching in college have to go to class the next day and they are students. You know what I'm saying? I just saw them on TV playing basketball, Glenn. So I wanted to be on TV playing basketball. you know. And then the people that I really looked up to, like, you know, like I said, Dr. J was my favorite player when I was a kid. You know, Magic Johnson, you know, Bernard King. Like, you know, I wanted to be like them. You know, Len Bias was somebody that I watched a lot. And, you know, and the whole Georgetown era, you know, I was all into that and everything else. But like I said, like, it wasn't until much later that I realized that those college guys are going to class after they play basketball.
Right. They going to school too. You know what I'm saying? You ain't realizing that. You just think they hooping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when did you realize? So at least you had Cliff to give you a little bit of advice. That was a good thing you had. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, once I started getting recruited, and, you know, once I started getting recruited, like, Maryland, like, really opened up their doors to me and said, hey, man, you come up here anytime you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to call us. You know, just come to the office. You know, you can kick it with us. You can ask us anything. You know, we'll, you know what I'm saying? So coming up to Maryland, and Kevin McClinton was up there. I knew Kevin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got a chance to know Walt and everybody else. And so, like, being around those guys and seeing what their daily routine was kind of my awakening to, oh, this is what they're doing, aside from playing on TV on Saturdays.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at that point, by you seeing them, you kind of was leaning. Like, a lot of people who played in the area looked at Len Bias and thought about going to Maryland, right? So at that point, you was looking at, like, maybe going to Maryland or something, all right? So and then what happened? Like, all right, so we already know you already touched on it as far as grades. So we ain't even talked about grades until, like, right now. So now you look at it, your GPA fucked up.
Right.
So now these schools are recruiting you, and they're actually making contact, and it's not letters no more.
Yeah. So what happened was, like you said, schools were making direct contact with Paint Branch. They were wanting to come to my practices. You know, they wanted to, you know, get me on the phone. They wanted to come up to the school and visit me. They wanted a copy of my transcripts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They wanted to know where I was academically at the moment, you know?
Right.
And so what Galata did was Galata went to my guidance counselor and told my guidance counselor not to release my transcripts to anybody.
To mess up any recruits.
What he was trying to do, huh?
He didn't want to mess up anybody that was interested in you because your GPA wasn't that good.
Not just that, but he was also trying to give me some time to better my grades so that when it was time to release the transcript, you know, instead of D's, I got B's now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was giving me a chance to make up some of those classes. You know? And so, so for a long time, like, nobody knew what my grades were. They just knew that I was good. They knew I was a good kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they would talk to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they would come watch me or whatever, like, I wasn't no asshole, nothing like that. They knew I was a good guy, good kid, and everything else. So everybody just assumed that his grades must be fine, you know, and everybody continued the recruiting process. You know, it wasn't until late in my senior year when we started to release the transcripts that everybody was like, shit, he ain't going to qualify.
Right. So before qualifying and all that stuff came in, did you have like a top 5 that schools that you wanted to go to? Like, if you had your grades and if you had the SAT and all that type of stuff, where would you have wanted to go?
Yeah, so,
first, second, third, fifth, fourth, fifth.
So, like you said, I mean, Maryland was my first choice. Maryland was where if everything had worked out for me, I would have gone to Maryland.
Okay.
But I got to tell you why that didn't work out. It had nothing to do with me. All right?
Okay.
So, Maryland recruited me, and they recruited me hard. Right? I mean, they was at my practices. They were at my games. You know, I was talking to, like, all the assistants, like, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. Gary Williams was calling himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a very close connection to Maryland. And like I said, like they opened up the door to me early. Like they told me, hey, you can come up here anytime and hang around the office and, all that kind of stuff. So I got very comfortable with Maryland. I got very close with Walt Williams and Kevin McClinton and everything else. Maryland was where I was going to go. We had we went out to Vegas to play in the Nike tournament, DC Players, my AAU team. And we went out there and we beat Jason Kidd and them in the finals. And, we were all excited after that. We beat them by 40 points. We're all in the hotel afterwards. And I can't remember who said it, but we're all in the hotel together. And somebody said, you know what, man, we should just stay together. We should just all go to Maryland and just house shit. And I was like, yeah, like, I didn't.
That was already on the top.
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody, but that's what I was going to do anyway. But I was like, yeah, we should do that. But see, at that time, when Maryland was recruiting me really hard, Duke was recruiting Dwayne Simpkins really hard.
Okay.
And Maryland, of course, Maryland loved Dwayne. I mean, it would be great for Maryland to be able to get their hands on a parade All-American, especially at that time. Dwayne was a parade All-American, and he was coming from DeMatha, which was right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So it was Dwayne was a big fish, but Maryland didn't think they could get Dwayne. They thought Dwayne was signed, sealed, and delivered going to Duke. And for a point, for a period of time, he was. Like, Dwayne loved Duke. He was going to go to Duke. You know what I'm saying? But when we was all in that hotel, and Dwayne was like, hell yeah, let's go to Maryland, I was like, shit. If Dwayne goes to Maryland, then why am I going to go to Maryland?
Right.
You know
because you was like, they wanted Dwayne first, and then they was pursuing you because they thought they didn't have a chance to get Dwayne.
Right.
So now both of y'all go. Now, man.
If both of us go, I already know what's going to happen. Like, they're going to play Dwayne, and they're going to expect me to back Dwayne up. You know what I'm saying? And I just wasn't willing to do that.
Right.
And when Dwayne signed with Maryland, Gary Williams and the whole staff, they were still pursuing me. Like, come on, Riley, you can come too, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no chance. I'm not going there to sit behind Dwayne. And I love Dwayne. Me and Dwayne close. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love him. But, I'm not going there to sit behind him. That's just not what I wanted. So, so after that happened, that's the whole reason why the Maryland thing didn't work out. It was really because Dwayne decided to go to Maryland. And I just wasn't interested in doing that anymore. So after that, my schools became Florida State, Temple, Villanova, Connecticut.
Right.
Yeah. Those
in no particular order. In no particular order. It didn't even matter. Like, those just was the next ones.
No, I mean, the order probably would have been Florida State next. I was really intrigued by Temple because Temple played in the Big East, and I wanted a shot at Georgetown because Georgetown didn't really recruit me, so I really wanted to play them, like, often, you know what I'm saying, and get my hands on them. But it probably would have been Florida State, Temple, Villanova, Connecticut. Connecticut was just way too cold for me.
Right.
Yeah. But looking back on it, Glenn, like, in hindsight, Coach Chaney was the only person that said, he looked at my whole situation and said, look, man, you ain't going to qualify, and I don't care. I'll take you right now. Just come in here and sit out and be ready the next year. You know what I'm saying?
Was all the schools that was recruiting you, so you're looking at Florida State right now, and you're looking at Temple. Let's just talk about those two. Were both of them basically giving you the ball when you came in? Like, did they have a freshman about to be a sophomore point guard, or what was the situation like? Because it's all about situation.
Yeah. So the Florida State situation was that Charlie Ward was playing football.
Okay.
Charlie Ward wasn't going to come back to basketball till real late because Florida State plays deep into January. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So Florida State was basically like, look, like, we're going to have a really good team. Bob Sir and all them guys, we're going to have a really good team. I think Sam Cassell was a senior that year.
Okay.
So they were going to be really good already. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They were going to get Charlie Ward back, but they were going to get Charlie late.
Right.
So basically they was like, look, like, you come in here, the ball will be yours. You know what I'm saying? When Charlie comes back from football, y'all will split time. Then Charlie will graduate, and then for the next 3 years, the ball is yours.
Oh, you right.
All me.
Right.
And then, like I said, like Temple, Coach Chaney was like, man, just come and sit out. You're not going to qualify, and I'm good with that. Just come here and sit out and be ready, your next year. So, at that time, what I'm saying, like, they had Eddie Jones and McKee. So I would have gotten the chance to play with them. Like, that would have been a great situation for me. I didn't think it through, or I didn't have the proper understanding and guidance and everything else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so your senior year, was it your senior year or your junior year when you made All-Met?
I made third team All-Met as a junior, and I made first team my senior year.
Okay. All right. And we're not going to talk about the county stuff.
Okay.
So what happened after high school? So now you're probably not a qualifier. So I know in our time, they had Prop 48. They don't got that no more, right? So they had Prop 48 back then. So wherever you was going to go, you was looking at sitting out. Or did you ever think about going to prep school?
So, my understanding of prep school back then was that you could not graduate high school. You had to leave high school and go straight to the prep school.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was important to my mom that I graduated. You know what I mean?
But is that how it was, or that's what you thought? Is that how it was, or that's how you thought? Because I was going to go to New Hampton Prep as a post-grad, a PG.
I honestly don't know for certain if that's how it was, but I do remember hearing that that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, like, my mom, she wanted me to graduate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was her whole thing. She wanted to see me graduate. Not having an understanding of the long game. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of us really had an understanding of the long game, that you could go to prep school and, that could buy you some time. And, I heard of prep school, but people weren't, like, really doing it that often back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A few people did it, but that was kind of all. So, so like
but hold on, I ain't trying to cut you off. But Black said something about FSU won the league, won the ACC that year. That y'all talking about, so they was real good. Because I do remember that you talking about. That's what Sam Cassell and Bob Sir was doing their thing, right?
Yeah,
and that was Sam's last year. They
went to the Elite Eight that year.
Okay, so that's the year you're talking about.
Yeah, they almost went to the Final Four.
All right, so you were saying about the prep school. So because your understanding was that you couldn't graduate to go, that was out of the question. Just like you going to Springfield was out of the question. You know what I'm saying? Mom ain't having it.
Yeah. Right. My mom wanted me to graduate, and that's just what it was. So, like you said, I mean, I was going to have to sit out, and I just, after my 7th grade year sitting out and not playing, like, I know what kind of torture that was to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't want to sit out and not play basketball anymore. If I was going to be in school, I might as well be playing basketball is how I saw it. And so that's why I started looking at junior colleges.
Okay. And did you have a choice, or I know you ended up going to San Jac at first. So did you have a choice? Did somebody come to you with 3 or 4 different options in junior college, or you was just recruited to San Jac and was like, I'm going to San Jac?
Nah, I mean, I was still, I hadn't given up hope yet of being able to qualify and, accept the D1 scholarship. So I started getting, some interest from like Allegheny and Hagerstown, Fresno. You know what I'm saying? Like, they started like getting involved, but I was blocking all that shit out because I was really trying to qualified still. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't given up on that yet. So I didn't decide on Sanjak until July. You know?
Right.
And I had to leave in a month.
Right. And so you went down to Sanjak, and what was the situation like? You know what I'm saying?
So, you know, Donnie Gross, who was my AAU coach, and Donnie himself had coached at Sanjak a while back. So I heard a lot of Sanjak from Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Like Donnie coached with Sam Cassell and Bill. When Sam Cassell and Bill were down at Sanjak, Donnie was down.
Riley. We gotta tap out because it's saying I got 9 seconds and we're gonna come right back. So I'm gonna close it, open back up. Everybody come back and ask some questions if y'all got them. I sent the request for you. All right, we back. Now, sometimes people are right. Sometimes people are typing stuff, Rodney. So I want to acknowledge their questions or their statements. You feel what I'm saying? Because right now I'm just listening to your story and focusing on you, but I want some interaction from other people. Like Coach Bolton usually have some good stuff you want to say. And Black made a comment, you know what I'm saying? As far as people saying hi, I don't be wanting to cut you off and say hi, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody make a statement,
right,
I'm going to say something. Here you go. He said, ask Riley, who did he really want to go at when he was in high school? Who was the guy that you wanted to go at in high school? Coach Bolton asked that question.
You know, there weren't too many people, man, on my radar in high school. I mean, there was 2 people that I monitored everything they did. 3 people.
Okay.
I monitored
who's
3
that?
people the whole time. I monitored Dave Vanderpool.
Uh-huh.
David Vanderpool was a year ahead of me, but you know, like in the Montgomery County sports section, you know, there was always like, you know, they would have like, you know, who's leading the county in scoring, who's leading the steals.
I know.
Yeah.
Or the players of the week, games of the week, player performances of the week. You always had that.
Right. And so every time I saw my name, I'd see Dave's name right next to my name. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know who David was for a long time. So I always monitored him. I monitored David. I monitored Chris McGuthrie.
Right.
And I monitored Dwayne Simpkins.
Okay.
You know, me and Chris crossed paths a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Paint Branch, Springbrook would play each other, you know what I'm saying, often enough.
Right.
DeMatha and Paint Branch never played each other. You know what I'm saying? And then me and Dave, Blair and Paint Branch did not play until my senior year when David had graduated already.
So you didn't play against Dave throughout high school. You didn't play against him.
No.
So you just saw the stuff he was doing. Right? Like I of course I followed all you guys. You know what I'm saying? I knew Darren and Chris were sharpshooters out of Springbrook. I knew you was the do-it-all point guard, big point guard out of Paint Branch. And I knew Blair had a solid team. That's what I remember about Blair. So it's not that
very good.
I didn't know. Yeah. So I didn't know if
very good. They went undefeated that year.
Okay. So, but that's what I'm saying. It was a team thing. So as far as statistic-wise, I knew who Dave was because I used to play in the Yes League. So I used to be around there, be with Steve, be with Jason, be with Jamar and all of that stuff down in Tacoma Park. So I knew who Dave was. But I remember them having a good team. I don't even think he led his team in scoring that year. But I couldn't be wrong. You feel what I'm saying? Because he had somebody else there. Yeah,
so You may be right. He may not have led this team in scoring. I mean, he did everything for them, but Javon Thomas was on that team as well, and Dave and Javon were both first team all county, but David was player of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where it is. So when did you actually? So you never played against him. So when did you actually get a chance to see him up close or start playing with him? You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody. It was kind of like one of the players that came up with you, even though he was a year ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of the county, he's a big talent coming out of the county.
Yeah, so, like there was like really a lot of tension and animosity between Dave and myself. It wasn't so directly, but, like Dave comes from the Tacoma Park area and Riley's from Briggs Cheney, so Riley's got a following of people that just believe that Riley's the only, I'm the only person in the county that can play to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Dave has a group of friends that think that Dave's the guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Dave had Blair cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Blair was rolling. And I had Paint Branch cooking. You know what I'm saying? Paint Branch was rolling. And it was weird because Blair and Paint Branch was such dominant teams, but weren't playing each other. You know what I'm saying?
I never knew that.
Point guard. Yeah, Blair had a big point guard, and Paint Branch got a big point guard. You know what I mean? And so everybody wanted to see David versus Riley or Riley versus David, but, it just never happened. And so what really happened, to answer your question, was that Darren McClinton was the bridge.
Because that was the mutual friend.
Darren was the bridge.
Right.
He was a mutual friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Darren were close. All of a sudden, Darren and Dave got close. And so, Darren would put us around each other.
Right.
And we got a chance to really, get to know each other and realize that, like both of us are, aside from being good players, we're also good people, good friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And our relationship and our friendship evolved from that. But we both owe Darren that.
Right. But it's funny that you say that because now we're here and all of us, BR, I'm calling you right now, I'm about to tap BR and he's going to be on the speaker because he's going to have some questions as well. But, like, just look at our relationship. Like the relationship that all of us from Mo County had. You feel what I'm saying? Darren, Chris, you, Blacktop, Dave. You know what I'm saying? And then you even roll it. Milo didn't play basketball, but Milo, Hammer. Like, we had a crew. So it's funny that throughout high school, you guys weren't cool, but you got so cool just because of Darren. That's how a lot of our relationships happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? Not just that, Glenn, but being around Darren, being around David, like that was the first time in my life that I was around like-minded people who had aspirations of doing something with basketball. Because up until that time, all my friends were in the streets. My friends were selling drugs. My friends were, moving around doing street stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was with those guys every day, all day. Whatever they was doing, I was right next to them while they were doing it. You know what I'm saying? So getting around Darren, getting around David, getting around Chris, like that was the first time that I was around people that was trying to do something productive and positive with basketball.
Right. I got that. All right, so now we back to now we back home, and now you have to figure out what you're gonna do. So it's San Jack. So you go to San Jack.
Yeah. So I get down to San Jack, and it's really my first time away from home. When Donnie told me about going to San Jack, he told me that Stacy Robinson and Michael Lloyd were going with me. And me, Stacy, and Mike, we played AAU together.
Right.
So I was excited to play with them because, when I was at Paint Branch, I had to carry a heavy load. I had to do most of the heavy lifting at Paint Branch. But this is going to be the first time that I get a chance to play with people that are as talented, if not more talented than me. So I was looking forward to getting down there, Stacey Robinson on the wing and Michael Lloyd on the wing and facilitating and watching them get busy. Like, I was looking forward to all of that.
Right. Bill got a question. I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, but I told you sometimes they got questions. So Bill was saying, what made you leave San Jack? He about to get to it, Bill. He gonna get to it. But go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Riley.
So when I get down to San Jack, Carl Turner's down there.
Right.
Man. I mean, Carl Turner is one of my favorite players.
Okay.
So Carl Turner's down there already. I didn't know that, And then Avis Willis is down there. Another bad man. Avis Willis was at Gonzaga back when I was at Paint Branch. Avis was cold. First team and everything. You know what I'm saying? Avis and Carl are already down there when I get there. So I see that, and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. It don't matter to me because I think in my mind, as good as I think those guys are, I believe I'm better.
Right.
So we get down there, we start hooping, and it was beautiful. Like, nobody was in nobody's way. I probably played some of my best basketball down San Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really dominant. Me and Michael Lloyd were roommates, and Michael Lloyd was a gym rat. Michael Lloyd didn't drink or nothing. Like, he wanted to, stay in the gym all day long. And so, as soon as practice or something was over, Mike wanted to go back to the gym. So, some of my other friends, Stacey Robb and all of them, they had other interests. They didn't want to be in the gym all damn day. But Mike did, and I was cool with it. So me and Mike would go into the gym. We played one-on-one. It was great. So what happened was, just when the season was getting ready to start, I had talked to an assistant coach at Florida State. And they had asked me, they said, Riley, how's it going? We just checking on you, blah, blah, blah. And then they asked me, what kind of classes are you taking? So I read to them my transcript. And the coach was like, Riley, why are you taking those classes? And I was like, I don't know. Those are the classes that was given to me, And so they were like, yeah, but those classes, they're not going to transfer nowhere. Like, nobody's going to accept those courses. You can't, that's not going to get you nowhere.
Right.
So the advice that I was given, they said you need to go to your academic advisor and have your academic advisor change your schedule.
Right.
So I said, okay, I didn't even know what an academic advisor was.
Right.
So I go around campus and I'm like, who's my academic advisor? And they tell me, Coach Jananda, my head coach, my academic advisor.
Yeah, he putting y'all in them classes so y'all gonna be eligible. He not tripping off. He gonna worry about y'all second year to put y'all in the right classes.
So I go to Coach G and I tell him, I say, Coach, I just got off the phone with, Florida State, blah, 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 and, they're telling me that the classes that I'm taking right now, they're not going to transfer out of here,
Right.
And you got to understand, Glenn, I was really hard on myself for putting myself in this situation. I was mad that I was down there. I felt like I should have been at Florida State. I should have known better. I should have had my grades. I should have studied for the SAT. I was really hard on myself. So when I got to I said, man, I'm not fucking up. I'm going to class. I'm going to do all my work. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to go, play college basketball. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to my coach, I said, hey, man, I need my schedule to change because, these classes ain't going to transfer. And he was like, I ain't changing shit. And he was telling me, like, Riley, you worried about the wrong stuff. Like, you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to take care of all that. You know what I'm saying? And he started talking about all the people that came out of there. You know what I'm saying? Liddell Eccles, Sam Cassell, Walter Barry. He starts naming all these people. Riley, you ain't my first player, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I told him, I said, Coach, look, man, like, I understand what you're saying, but, give me a chance to, like, take the right classes. And if I fuck it up, then that's on me. But, I'm committed to studying, getting a tutor, doing whatever I got to do to get out of here. But give me that chance. Give me the right classes. And he refused to change my schedule. So I took that to mean like he didn't care about me. And I told him that if you don't change my schedule, then I'm leaving.
Right.
And so, he didn't think I was going to do it. I called Barry because my mother wasn't going to send no plane ticket for me.
Right.
And Barry sent me a plane ticket home. And so
so you left.
Home.
Right.
I left.
Okay, so when you went home, what happened? BR. Hold on. BR got a question. BR, I told you got to turn one of them devices off, man, because I'm hearing it.
I just turned it down.
All right, cool. Well, we good. What's your question?
Riley, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
What's up, Coach? It's
Okay.
good to hear you, bro.
I have nothing but respect for you, man. I heard nothing but great things. I apologize for being late, Riley. But, so let me ask you the question.
Good to hear you.
Yeah. Thanks, Riley. The question I got to ask you is about St. Jack. Back in the day, St. Jack used to be a powerhouse.
Right.
Is there somebody who had a direct contact to the DMV? Because a lot of DMV and Baltimore players went to St. Jack. Is that how it was back in the days, Brownie?
Yeah, so Donnie Gross was the direct contact. Donnie Gross was from here.
Okay.
Donnie Gross coached the DC players. Donnie Gross had connections in Baltimore.
Okay.
That's how we got Keith Booth, Dante Bright, Michael Lloyd to play with us. So by then, Donnie was connected from Baltimore to DC, throughout, everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And he had that shoe deals. He had all the shoes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but Riley, one more question real quick. I'm sorry, sir. So back to you, because have you always been a combo guard, or was you a point guard or a shooter before you turned into a combo guard? I mean, what was always your position, Riley?
So, as a really young kid, I was a point guard because all the teams that I played on, I was playing up in age. So I was the smallest guy on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Because I was playing up in age, so I had to play the point. But whenever I played with my own age group, I was so much better than most kids my own age. I was like a big scorer. So if I was playing with my own age, then I might play the 2, I might play the 3, whatever. Like, they just wanted me to put the ball in the hole because, when you're really young, everybody can't do that, and I could do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and
I got a taste of both spots at an early age.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I always wanted to know that because, man, I didn't get a chance to see you play the way Glenn has seen you play, but I always heard great things about you. That's why it's funny when you hear the friction between you and Dave, how y'all just like each other, they hear this type of thing. I didn't know all this stuff, Riley. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I've heard nothing but, man, Riley was the man. Man, Riley Inge, man, he was the man, this and that. Then so to hear these things is kind of cool, man. But, man, your story is a great story. I just want to ask, so I'll jump back in later on and ask another question. But thanks again for coming, Riley. Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah. All right, so Riley, go ahead.
Thanks for having me.
Go ahead and finish the story. So Barry sent you the plane ticket. You came back home.
Barry sent the plane ticket. I didn't even tell my mom I was coming home, dog. I just put my key through the door and walked into the house.
No support. Like, I'm talking about no contact before. Like, she think you in San Jack when you walk in the house.
My mom thinks I'm in Texas, dog. I had my girlfriend pick me up from the airport. She picked me up from the airport, took me to the house. I put my key through the door, walked into my mama's house. My mom think I'm in Texas. And you know who's in my bedroom?
Who in your bedroom?
Steve Francis living in my bedroom.
how long was he staying there? So you didn't know this at the time, or did you know that he moved in with your people? You already knew he moved in, but you just didn't know he took over your room. You just knew he was at the house.
No. I knew he was in the room, but it never factored in my mind like where I was going to sleep because that was my room. You know what I'm saying? When I got home, and my mom is like, "What you doing here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, shit ain't work out. You know, I'm here now. I got to figure something else out." You know, I try to put my stuff in the room. My mom like, "That ain't your room. That's Steve's room."
So now you out of school. Now you ain't got no bed at home. So you ain't. I'm you know, in my bedroom, I didn't have no door because my bedroom was a den. You know what I'm saying? The den area. I remember the house. I've been there.
So literally, my mom won't let me sleep in my room because that's Steve's room.
Right.
My mom got me sleeping on the couch, but you know, I can look directly into the bedroom. So Steve would be in my bedroom, like looking at
chilling, and you rolling over on the couch.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm gonna say that's your mom for you. You feel what I'm saying? She not gonna kick him, even though that's you, her son, you her blood son. But she took him in, and she ain't about to fuck his situation up because your ass left school. You dig what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
So that, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, all right, so then what happened? God damn. So how long was you on the couch, Riley?
About a month.
Okay.
And then my mom is like, "Look, nigga, like, you know, you can't be up here putting dents on my couch. You ain't going to school. You ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally, like, on the couch playing PlayStation or you know, Sega or whatever, you know.
Right, whatever it was, you just chilling. You just on vacation. And she like, ain't no vacation over here.
Because right now it's like October. So I can't get back into nobody's school because the semester's going already. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I'm right here. So my mom is like, "Look, you ain't got no job. You ain't in school. You fucking up my couch. You eating the food. You got to go."
Hey, that's some tough love, boy.
My mom, so my mom says I got to go.
Yeah, man. That noise, man.
Huh?
Go ahead. You good. Yeah, you good. I was telling VR, another device. You good.
So my mom tells me I got to go. So I call Donnie. And Donnie called down to Tallahassee Community College. And Donnie told them, you know, who I was, told them about me, told them that I left San Jack, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they told Donnie, "Bring me down here right now. We'll take him right now."
Right.
So Donnie comes to pick me up and drives me all the way out to Tallahassee. We drive out to Tallahassee. You know, they put me up in a townhouse. You know, they let me practice with the team every day, lift weights, work out. You know, I couldn't go to class because the semester was already going, you know what I'm saying? But I'm out my mom's house. I'm in the townhouse. I'm eating good. I'm working out and practicing with the team every day. You know, so things are getting ready to turn around for me.
Right. While you take that sip, you are one of the reasons why I chose Tallahassee. Remember, I had to ask that. I asked you about it when I was deciding on what JUCO I was going to.
I don't know if you remember this, Glenn, but I called Tallahassee for you at my house, and then we went over to, because me and you was on our way to Tacoma Rec.
Lane.
And I gave them the number over to Tacoma Rec, and I told them to call me over at Tacoma Rec, and I was going to let them talk some more to you. I'm the one who started that for you.
Oh, okay. All right. You already know. I appreciate it. But like I said, you were the reason. Because when I spoke to them, Coach G, he was speaking highly about you. And also, Greg, Carlos was supposed to go down there. Carlos Hill. from Sherwood was supposed to go down there or whatever. He ended up going down there and he left. So that was like my history as far as why I chose to go down there. That's why I chose to go down there. And your advice sealed it. Because at that point, Daisha was trying to help me get into whatever junior college, you know what I'm saying? It was either somewhere in Florida, it was somewhere in Texas, it was somewhere in Kansas or Arizona. Those are the 4 places I wanted to go because I wanted to get away so that I wouldn't be tempted to do the bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get away from home. So anyway, so you down there, what happens? Because you never played for them, right?
Yeah, I get down there so I get down there in October, and I'm there till Christmas. I'm there from October to Christmas, and on my way back home, Coach Gillespie and them, they were getting ready to go play a tournament somewhere. And so Coach told me, you can stay here if you want to, but I was like, nah, y'all gone. Y'all gonna be gone for like a week or 2 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna go home. So Coach was like, all right, that's cool. You better say something?
No, I'm laughing because now you're ready to go home again. Which means you're about to go home. So go ahead.
Because it's Christmas time. It's Christmas.
Oh, got you. They was going for a Christmas tournament. I got you.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm getting ready to come home. And so Coach is like, all right, well, I'll just send you your scholarship papers. I'll fax them to your mom, and then you can just sign them, send them back, and then you come back in January. I said, all right, done deal.
Okay.
So I come home. I'm home for about 2 or 3 weeks. I'm calling down to the school. I can't get Coach on the phone. Me and Black, we go down to JMU to visit Darren.
Okay.
And when we get down there, I see Lefty.
Okay.
Before that game.
Right.
So, he's, just kind of being inquisitive. He's like, son, what's going on with you? What you doing or whatever. And I was like, well, I've been down Tallahassee. I'm getting ready to go back in January, and play for them. But, they not returning my phone call right now, so I don't really know what's going on. So he like, they not going to call you back. I said, what you mean? And he said, word is, they're saying that you said that you're not, they got word that I'm not coming back to TCC unless they hired Donnie Gross as an assistant coach.
Oh, man. So that's what the problem was.
That's what they said happened. Now, I called Donnie. I couldn't get Donnie on the phone. So when I come back home, my mom is like, so what's going on? Like, you still in the house, you been
fucking up the couch.
In Florida for 2 months. Yeah, you fucking up the couch again, and you telling me that you supposed to be going to Florida, but you ain't got no scholarship papers or nothing. Like, you don't know when you going back. You don't know nothing.
Right.
So she hit me with a like, yeah, you got to roll out and figure that shit out.
All right. So what's the next one?
So I end up going to watch a Springbrook versus Blair basketball game.
Okay.
And I'm sitting in the stands. I'm watching the game. I'm just kind of daydreaming right now. Like, shit is kind of foggy. I'm in my mind like, man, I don't know what to do. This ain't supposed to happen for me like this. I'm a good player. I'm a good kid. Like, it ain't supposed to be this hard. Everything's going wrong. Like, Riley, what are you going to do? And I'm sitting there, and Coach Anderson from Mount St. Mary's is sitting in the stands. Mm-hmm. So he comes and, like, kind of nudges me. And, just like Lefty, he, like, asking me, like, what are you doing?
Right.
And I'm like, man, shit, Coach, I don't even know no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was going to Tallahassee, but, that ain't working out now. Nobody's calling me back. I done heard that somebody said that Donnie said something. I can't get Donnie on the phone. I don't know what's going on. And Coach Anderson says, shit, if you tell me you come to Mount St. Mary's, nigga, I'll get you into school tomorrow.
Luck is changing.
he's like, look, man, you know, you'll get a meal card. We'll put you up in the dorm room. You know, next year, Riley, we playing Florida State. You know, we'll go down to Florida State. You get a chance to see those people and everything else. You know, we playing Georgia Tech next year. So he starts, like, laying it on me like, man, you know, I mean, I don't know what your options are, but I'm telling you right now,
this is on the table.
If you worried about what's, I'll get you into school tomorrow. Just tell me that you come. And
at this point, you said,
man, thank you.
I ain't want to cut you off, but I'm saying at this point, you sitting here like, shit, I ain't got a place to stay. I don't know how I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
So right now, they offering you the deal of the lifetime.
The world.
At the right time.
The world. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this: if they came to you when all these other schools like FSU, Maryland, and you know, Temple and all those schools, you wouldn't even entertain that talk because you was bigger than that.
I was way bigger than that, and they knew it. But you know what, though? Here's the thing. When Coach Anderson came to me as I was sitting in the stands at that Blair Springbrook game, by that time, he and I had a very close relationship, and here's why. So Cliff Warren, who coached me at Paint Branch, left Paint Branch after my junior year, and he went back to Mount St. Mary's and became a grad assistant.
Right.
Cliff and I were very close. So because of Cliff, I got a chance to meet Coach Anderson.
Okay.
So Coach Anderson started recruiting. He wanted to recruit Chris McGuthrie.
Okay.
But what happened was Coach Anderson didn't know how to get close to Chris. Coach Anderson talked to Cliff Warren and said, you know, you come from that area. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you help me get to Chris?
Right.
And Cliff told Coach Anderson that Riley's close to Chris.
Right.
And me and Riley are close. So because of Cliff kind of put me on to Coach Anderson, and I helped Coach Anderson recruit Chris to Mount St. Mary's.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so by that time, me and Coach A had a very close relationship. So he became somebody that I trusted and I knew very well.
Right. So you ended up taking that. So you was on your way to Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah.
All right, and
I want to piggyback real quick, Riley.
Oh, the Riley.
So when you went down to Tallahassee, did Donnie tell you that Coach Gillespie tell you that Donnie was trying to get her to be a coach, or he didn't tell you anything about Donnie when he was down in Tallahassee?
No, when we was down there, Donnie stayed with me the whole time. So, like, you know, Donnie was around.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see any friction between Donnie and Gillespie or anything like that. You know, at that time, like, Donnie to me was an adult and I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I let adults do adult things and coaches do coaches things, and I just stayed in my place and I was going to be a player. So I never really bothered to assess, you know, what Donnie was trying to do with Gillespie or anything like that. Donnie was just being helpful to me. That's the way it looked to me.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I want to know that, man, because I'm like nowhere. You said you tried to call him, but he never answered your phone call. So I know you was like, wow, you know, all this time, if you was trying to become a coach, you never said it to me.
Right.
And then make you aware.
And you're right, Rodney. You're absolutely right. And, you know, like I said, me and Donnie had spent damn near 3 months together in Tallahassee. So when he wasn't taking my call, I just thought maybe he was sick of me. Like, we had been together for so long that maybe he just needed a break.
Right.
Like, I never thought that Donnie was trying to duck me or anything like that. But I also knew that, you know, my time was running out. So I couldn't wait on Donnie to, like, answer my call and tell me what was going on. Here it is, Coach Anderson at Mount St. Mary's is giving me an opportunity, and if I close this door, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So I just went with it.
Right.
So how did the news travel so fast that Coach Lefty knew about your situation at TCC?
you know, again, like, you know, being an adult now and being that I've been in the coaching world, I've coached college basketball and everything else, you figure out, Rodney, that coaches talk to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's going on with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's recruiting the same kids. You know, some people, like, everybody knows what's going on with a kid that came from their neighborhood or their hometown. People talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So it was nothing for Lefty to get wind of, you know, what was going on with somebody that came from where Lefty came from.
Right. All right. So now you down. Now you down at Mount St. Mary's now, and you still got to do your Prop 48 year at this point, right?
Yeah. So what happened was, when I left Sanjak, Coach G did not release me. Okay.
He just when you left Sanjak. When you said Coach G, it had me think about GCC, but Coach G and Sanjak, right? Go ahead. Yeah, Coach
Jananda. So Coach Jananda did not release me from Sanjak. So when I left, you know, I was not only a year in a hole, but I was a year and a half in a hole because he didn't release me. Had he released me, then I would have only had to sit out 1 year. But because he wouldn't release me, it became a year and a half.
Right. And tell me about that year and a half, man. Tell me about that year and a half. I know that was like that year and a half had to be longer than the 2.5 that you did.
Yeah. I mean, it was difficult, man. I mean, you know, Mount St. Mary's was a, you know, it was a private school, private Catholic school. You know, I was around more white people than I ever seen in my life. You know.
But you're from MO County, so how's that?
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, like where I came from in MO County, it wasn't a whole lot of white people. It just wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right, no doubt.
So I got on campus. It was very uncomfortable, you know. You know, I felt judged. In fact, let me backtrack. So when Coach Anderson got me into Mount St. Mary's, like I said, you know, my transcripts from Paint Branch, you know, weren't adequate. Like, you know, Mount St. Mary's is a very difficult school to get into. So basically, Coach Phelan and Coach Anderson had to call in a favor to the president, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what they had to do. And so what he did was the president took my Mount St. Mary's transcripts and put them in a safe in his office and wouldn't let nobody on campus see my transcripts. So what happened was when I came on campus, you know, like the professors are like, because, you know, I got there, it's January now. So I already went the first semester of my freshman year. So now the professors are like, well, who is this guy that everybody's talking about? You know, I'm in their class. I wasn't in their class the first semester. Now I'm here the second semester. You know, they want to ask some academic background questions on me, like what kind of student is he, blah, blah, blah. And the president has my transcripts in his office in a safe. And he's like, don't worry about his transcripts. Just teach him. You know, he's here because I want him to be here. And y'all just teach him. Like, stop worrying about his background and everything else. Help the kid. You know what I'm saying? Right. But in doing that, there was a lot of animosity up towards me. You know, a lot of people are like, well, who is this guy?
Or students too, like just everything.
Well, I'm really speaking about the way the staff, the way the professors treated me. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a buzz about me when I got there already. You know, that's the guy that, you know, was first team All-Met. That's the guy that, you know, was top 100 in the country. That's the guy that was, you know what I'm saying? So there was already a buzz about me. But nobody was like speaking about, you know, what kind of student I was and everything else. The president was like, don't worry about it. Just teach them. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel like anybody was really trying to help me, you know, and I sensed it. You know what I'm saying? We all can sense when somebody's, you know, acting shady towards them or whatever. So I was like, well, fuck it then. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want me here. You know, I made some more excuses, like I ain't doing my work, then I ain't going to class, whatever the case may be, you know. Right. So at the end of that semester, I received a what do you call it? Academic probation notice. That basically said that you've been dismissed from school because of my grades.
Right, your performance basically, because you ain't put the effort at that point.
Right, my one semester, they was just like, yeah. So they put me out of school. So I called up to Coach Phelan and I said, Coach, I got this letter. They said that I can't come back to school. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So Coach went back to the president and said, how about you guys let Riley come to summer school and let's see, how he does in summer school. And if he doesn't, if he can perform in summer school, then maybe, you guys can put him on academic probation, but give him a chance because this transition has been difficult for Riley.
Right.
And so they let me come back to summer school, and I met somebody who was close to Chris McGuthrie. He was actually the dean of students at that time at Mount St. Mary's.
Okay.
White guy named Sean Malone. And he was from Rockville, Maryland. So he was, familiar with Montgomery County and, everything, so forth.
Right.
And he came up to me, man, and he said, listen, you're a close friend of Chris's. Me and Chris are very close. And he said, I want to help you, get qualified. I want to, help you study. I want you to bring your stuff over to my place and, let me see your work and, let me see your papers before you turn them in. And, at first I was like, I don't know who this white boy is and why he talking to me and everything else. You like the rest of these white guys up here that, really don't care nothing about me. I was scared to trust them. But, I talked to Chris about it and Chris said that he was somebody that Chris trusted and, I didn't have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't mess with him and do things my way, I'm going to be out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? In a couple weeks.
Right.
So I got with Sean Malone, Glenn, and it really changed my life. I mean, he taught me how to study. He taught me how to manage my time. He taught me how to go to the library and look up stuff that I needed. He taught me how to edit my papers. He taught me everything that I needed to know, man, to be a college student. Like, forget basketball. Just be a college student because I ain't playing basketball no time
without it.
You know what I'm saying? So he really spent time with me and teaching me how to write papers and how to study, how to manage my time, how to study for this class, then go study for that class. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, he showed me how to do all that stuff, man.
That's crazy, man, because without him, you would be following the same pattern that you've been doing, that we all fell through with high school. Just trying to do it on your own without having the proper guidance. You feel what I'm saying? So with him giving you that proper guidance and giving you that step-by-step, it made you a better student, and that's how you became eligible, right?
Yeah.
So also during that time, people got to understand that you couldn't do anything with the team because you was Prop 48.
Yeah. So
you got to think, you're just a straight student for a year and a half.
Just a student for a year and a half. I'm playing intramural basketball. I'm working out by myself. I cannot do anything that the team is doing. I can't do nothing with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, I understand that. All right, so now we'll fast forward a little bit because now you got your grades on point. Now that long year and a half is over with, and now it's about January again when it's your time to play, right?
Yeah.
And I remember it because that's when me and Barry drove up there to watch your first game.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I remember it like it was yesterday. All right, so so as far as that season, how was the team doing that at that point in the season? Were they doing good at the beginning of that?
So I mean, the team kind of struggled because when you're a small school, the early part of your schedule, those are money games. You know what I'm saying? So they're playing against teams that generate money, non-conference. So not necessarily games that we're supposed to be winning. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to understand, Glenn, that when I joined the team, I played my first game without having my first practice.
Right.
I became eligible at 12 noon on December 18th, and we played our game that evening versus Bucknell.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
That game, you had. Did you have a double-double, or you had close to a double-double or something, or what was your stat lying around that game?
I had a double-double. I had 10 points. I had 10 assists, a few rebounds, a few steals. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a good beginning. It was a good beginning, meaning the team was looking promising with a good leader. Basically, a guy that they had no chance in getting if it didn't come down to them grades, or if it didn't come down to Mom kicking you out. If Mom never kicked you out, go ahead.
No, you're right. Everything that you're saying, you're right. After my first game at Mount St. Mary's, I remember there was a newspaper article. It might have been the Baltimore Sun or somebody, but it was an article written on me, and the article said something like, for the first time in Mount St. Mary's history, they can now not dream about, being a real contender or a real, or playing in the postseason is no longer a far-fetched dream. Now that Riley has landed and has played, this is the real reality of this team. They can, be a, team to win the conference.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what year was it when I came down there and spent maybe a month or 2 months down the mountain with y'all, working out and practicing and all, playing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that your?
It would have been my junior year.
Okay, so it was your junior. It was the year going into your junior year. Yeah. So after you played that half a season.
Right.
All right. Okay, yeah, because I remember that. I remember that. Yankadari came down there and was working out with us and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you and Chris actually.
It's funny.
Huh?
It's funny because when you first hit me about a week or two ago on Instagram, I hit my son's mother up, and I said, "You'll never guess who I just heard from." And she said, "Who?" And I said, "Your first son." She said, "Oh my God, you talked to Glenn? How's Glenn doing?"
I remember we used to go on them late night runs to that what's Wawa? What was the name of the little gas station we get the subs from? Sheets. Yeah, no doubt. I was there. That was all love back then, man. Y'all taught me a lot back then. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that. Gus, what's happening, baby? But anyways, all right. So now we're moving on to your junior, senior year. We ain't got to go season by season because we know you playing. You got your grades and everything. So y'all ended up. What year was it when y'all went to the tournament?
My junior year.
Okay, so that was that year. Junior year, y'all went to the tournament and lost to Kentucky, right?
Right.
All right. So basically, you and Chris was playing good together. Great backcourt.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish. You good?
Yeah. I mean, me and Chris, we were a very good combination. I mean, we had a tremendous amount of respect for each other's game,
Right.
And, the year and a half that I set out, Chris was really tearing up, the conference. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And so Chris had made a reputation and a name for himself long before I stepped on the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I became conscious of I didn't want my presence to take away from who Chris was becoming. You know what I mean? And so what I really tried to do was I tried to come onto that team and blend what I can do to enhance what he could do, but, not come in and try to take over and be Riley Inge and make Chris McGuthrie less than what he was already becoming. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, see,
that became a very good fit.
Right. And you actually helped him because it was a point guard that knew where he liked the ball, how he liked the ball. So you helped him get his thing off, but you took a back step. So at this point, you in unselfish mode. You know what I'm saying? You in selfless mode right now because you're doing what's better for the team. You're not even thinking about playing on Sunday like Dr. J. You're just thinking about winning at this time and not messing up the team chemistry.
Yeah, well, you know
what I mean?
You're right. Like, you know, it wasn't that I wasn't thinking about playing in the NBA on Sunday because I was, but, you know, I was also thinking like, first I was thinking like, you know, who's going to come to Mount St. Mary's and really scout me? You know what I'm saying? So my thought process was I need to play on the biggest stage such as the NCAA tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need to play in that NCAA tournament because everybody's going to be watching that. You know what I'm saying? I need to play in that, and I need to play well in that. You know, and if I can do that, then that's how I'm going to get my look. And so, like you said, like my intention became, you know, all I want to do is just win the game. You know, beat the team that's in front of us so that will keep us on the road towards the NCAA tournament. Instead of, you know, like later on in life, like especially when I got involved with Markel Fultz and I became, you know, hands-on with that whole situation, I really learned then how important it is for you to kind of be selfish and turn up and get all these incredible numbers because that's what these scouts and everybody else, that's what they're looking at.
Right.
They don't care that my team won 16 or 17 games in a row. They care if I'm scoring 27 points a game or if I'm scoring 13 points a game. That's what they care about. And I didn't know that back then. I just thought about winning these games, you know, that was going to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hold on, that's Rodney. Go ahead, Rodney.
Yeah, go ahead, Rodney.
So when you got to Mount St. Mary's your first season, I mean, was it tough? I mean, you had to really compete. I mean, when did you show them that you were going to get that starting job? I mean, did you have to compete hard for? How did that first season start?
Nah, I mean, like I said, Rodney, like, you know, I played my first game without having my first practice. Like, they knew who I was. So it wasn't no competition.
Oh, wow.
Like, they all knew that when Riley becomes eligible, Riley's going to get the ball. They knew that already.
Rodney wasn't in here when we talked about, you know, you being all Met, you being recruited by Maryland, you being recruited by Temple, you being recruited by UConn, and you being recruited by FSU. Rodney, he was a big recruit coming out of high school. The only reason why Mount St. Mary's got him was because the journey that he had. You feel what I'm saying? He was kind of desperate for a situation at that point. So it was like a piece of gold falling in their lap. So it wasn't no compete for no spot.
Yeah, I agree. You're right, Glenn. But Riley, you just said that your first game, did you call any plays? What did you do your first game, Riley? You just went out there and they gave you the ball? What happened?
Yeah. So Mount St. Mary's basic offense, Mount St. Mary's had a bunch of sets that came from the flex offense. Okay. And I knew the flex offense because we ran the flex offense in high school. You know what I mean? So I came into the game and they gave me the ball. I just kind of kept us in the flex, and then I played out of that. I knew what to look for outside of that.
You played it safe then, huh? You played the real safe, huh, Riley? Okay.
I didn't have no choice. I mean, I couldn't practice with them, so, you know, that's all I could do.
All right, so after that game, they just said, you are our new starting point guard off the break.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Chris
go ahead. Slid over to the 2.
Okay.
All right. So now we fast forward. We don't got to stay too long on it. All right. So now, your senior year, what were your numbers?
At Mount St. Mary's, like 18 points, 6.5 rebounds, about 6 assists, like 3 steals, close to 3 steals, something like that.
So basically, at this point, you and Chris were the best players in the conference by far. Y'all, I believe y'all both was up there for first and second for player of the year.
Exactly. Chris was player of the year, and I was runner-up player of the year. I lost by 1 vote.
Okay. All right. So now.
That's good, man.
All right. So now we fast forward. So now, you wasn't going to graduate on time because the journey that you took. Just like people who go to junior college for 2 years, a lot of your classes don't transfer in, so you don't graduate. So what did you do after that senior year? After your senior season, were you looking to